NATO is set to announce details of a plan to bolster the alliance's military presence in Eastern Europe in response to continued fighting in Ukraine. The bloc chief says it will be the biggest reinforcement of its collective defense since the end of the Cold War. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is to hold talks in Kiev as the U.S. considers whether to send weapons to help Ukraine fight pro-Russian rebels. The U.S. has so far only provided non-lethal assistance to Ukraine. On Wednesday, Ashton Carter, the White House's choice for Defense Secretary, said he was inclined to start supplying arms. Rapid reaction NATO defense ministers meeting in Brussels on Thursday will seek to reassure the alliance's member nations in Eastern Europe by boosting its forces there. The Rapid Reaction Force of up to 5,000 is expected to be announced, with its lead units able to deploy at 2 days' notice. NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg has said the bloc faces a fundamental change to its security environment because of Russian aggression. Speaking as ministers arrived in Brussels, he said, "This is something we do as a response to the aggressive actions we have seen from Russia, violating international law and annexing Crimea," he said. "I very much underline that this is something we do because we have to adapt our forces when we see that the world is changing." NATO will also reveal plans for a network of small command centers in Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, Romania, and Bulgaria. The move is being seen as a potential deterrent against any Russian threat to the Baltic states or other bloc members should the crisis in Ukraine spin out of control. Russia denies accusations by Ukraine and the West that it is arming rebels in eastern Ukraine and sending regular troops across the border. Later on Thursday, Mr. Kerry will meet Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko and Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk in Ukraine's capital. The issue of weapons deliveries to Ukraine, and other avenues of U.S. assistance, is expected to be one of the main items on the agenda. On Wednesday, Mr. Carter, who previously served as Deputy Secretary of Defense, appeared in front of the Senate Armed Service Committee in Washington for questioning ahead of a full Senate confirmation vote on his nomination as Secretary of Defense. He spoke positively on the possibility of moving arms supplies to the Ukrainians. "I'm very much inclined in that direction, Mr. Chairman, because I think we need to support the Ukrainians in defending themselves," he said when asked by Senator John McCain if he supported delivering defensive weapons to Ukraine. "The nature of those arms, I can't say right now," he added. Ongoing fighting. The White House has previously expressed fears that sending in weapons could trigger a tense confrontation with Russia and escalate the conflict. But U.S. President Barack Obama is now said to be reconsidering his position, accusing Russia of escalating the conflict in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Earlier this week, a group of former senior U.S. officials and officers urged a major increase in military assistance, including providing light armor missiles designed to take out tanks and armored vehicles. And on Tuesday, a group of U.S. senators called on President Obama and NATO to rapidly increase military assistance to Ukraine to defend its sovereign borders against escalating Russian aggression. Fighting in eastern Ukraine began last April, when separatists seized government buildings after Russia annexed Ukraine's southern Crimea peninsula. More than 5,000 people have been killed in the conflict,